Okay, so you were talking to your mother after our last conversation about Mexico, and lo and
Yeah.
behold,
So a couple things came out of that conversation. I completely forgot. So I asked my mom, I was like, Mom, because I talked to my dad first. My mom was at an event. So I talked to my mom later. I was like, Mom, like, what did you think about me traveling out of the country? She said the exact same thing as my dad. I was like, I was a little nervous, but, I was excited for you. You're doing a thing and, you always want your kids to do more than you do kind of thing. And then she was like, but it was so hard when you would call home and like you were complaining and crying. You were just so upset, like you wanted to come home. I was like, what? Like I enjoyed Mexico. Like, what do you mean?
everything was great.
It was wonderful. And she was like, she was like, no. She was like, you would call me and say you were ready to come home, like you were over it. Um, And then we started talking about the roaches. Now, I'm not saying this to say that my house mother wasn't clean. They were very clean people.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
just the way that the house was set up with the garden in the middle. There was no roof. So, like, if it rained, there were drains. And if there's drains, you could have other
Mm,
situations.
yeah.
And so she was like, you always talk to me about the roaches. And I just remembered the morning that, because we did like an excursion to Mexico City. And so
Okay.
the morning that we were going to Mexico City, I went to the bathroom and I was brushing my teeth and I looked down and I had on long pajama pants and they
Mm-hmm.
were like, like a wide leg pajama pant. And like
Mm-hmm.
a roach like came
Mm-mm,
out the
mm-mm,
bottom of my pant,
mm-mm,
like onto my
mm-mm,
foot, onto the
mm-mm.
floor.
No, not okay. Not okay.
I
Ugh.
don't remember what I did. I feel like I probably wanted to scream. But there was probably a phone call that day where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to come home.
So your mom clearly remembered that, and you just like 20 years later,
Yeah.
everything's
And then
fine.
she told me that privately, her and my dad had a conversation. It's like when Erin gets home, she's got to leave that suitcase in the garage. Like, it's not coming in the house. I definitely brought a roach back.
They didn't like fumigate, like hose you
My
down,
cl- my s-
shake everything out.
my suitcase had to stay in the garage for a week, and then I had to shake everything out before I could bring it in the house. Then it was like a dead
I'm not
roach
mad at
in
him
the
though. I would have done
suitcase.
the same thing. Like you keep whatever you brought. You shouldn't have cleared customs.
Smuggling in
Right.
livestock.
They asked you about wildlife. Gross. Gross. Because, like, that's a real thing, though. Like,
Oh my god!
what do you do to prevent that? Like,
I don't know. I don't know that you can.
oh my gosh.
I don't know that you can. Like
Oh.
that's just where I had to.
See, now I'm
That's what it
like,
was. I
mm,
know. Heebie-jeebies. I
mm-hmm.
just remembered that. But
That's
yeah,
funny.
I
So it
mean,
makes me wonder, like, did you journal? Because there's probably other stuff that's not
There,
so
so I
wonderful.
forgot to look for my notebook because I still have my notebook from class there, but I'm sure there was some type
Yeah.
of journaling something. I think it's
Yeah.
actually in this trunk right here. I'll look for it for next time.
Okay.
Um, it's all
Oh,
in
I would
Spanish,
love to
so
hear
we'll
that.
see if I can even
Even
translate
better.
it. Lord, my Spanish is so basura these days. Like I can't
Oh
even.
gosh.
But that's
No,
just a
that's
little
really like to
update.
hear a little journal entry and you'd be like, oh, I wonder what else I forgot about because you were there for a whole month.
Hmm.
I'm sure there's more, but just outshined by how
Yeah,
positive everything was and
I
the nice
know.
relationship you had. Oh,
Like the
wow.
idea of just being excited about traveling or whatever, like I think that's,
Yeah,
but maybe
that's
there's
major that you
there's
just
layers
like,
in this to this onion.
yeah, or you blocked it out for a good reason.
So I would get on a plane again, and because I've been to
Yeah.
Mexico the most of all the places I've ever traveled, like we've gone back to Mexico so many times.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like that's the place I've traveled the most to. So
Yeah.
I probably needed eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. That scenario.
Yeah. But it's funny because, like, parents and loved ones always seem to remember like the things, the negative
Right.
stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's probably what that would. I mean, as a mom now, like that would give me a big feeling if I hear
Yes.
Zazie somewhere. Like she may be having a great time, and then she tells me about these like difficult parts. That would stick with me. That
Yeah.
would stick. So,
Because that's the thing that you'd worry about. Like, you're not worried about, like, everything's going great. Cool.
yeah.
But this is concerning. Let's put a pin in that.
Oh God. But yeah. So
Wow.
anyway, so let's talk
Yeah.
about. First off, let's talk about the fact that I thought you had been traveling all over the world, like just in your mama's backpack,
I don't know
seeing
where
the
you got that
sights.
impression.
I don't know, because you
Nothing
just seem
about
like
me.
you're always a traveler. So I was
When we
like,
met?
yeah, I don't know. Well, yes, because you know what? Because you had moved so much, my brain was like, oh, this girl's been all over, right? Like
Oh.
the whole thing about you being from Peru and then, California, yay. Like you were like very
Right,
like
right.
homes. I was like,
That's bye.
okay, this young lady has been places.
I spent all of 3 years in California. They were important years, but it was only three.
Okay.
Formative
And
years, you might say.
and let me be clear, you would say I'm from Peru, Indiana. Like
Yeah, but I just thought it was kind of cool. I mean, when
it
you're
is
17,
cool.
18, whatever, like,
It is
it sounds
cool.
fun. It sounds
Yeah,
like a
no,
good
for sure, for
icebreaker.
sure. I would do
And
the exact same if I was from Peru, Indiana, and I
yeah,
don't know that I would clarify.
but I mean, like,
So
when you're from Indiana and you're a military brat, it feels like there's not much exciting or interesting about you. So I'm like, we're gonna hold on to this, and this is what I'm gonna lead with every time I walk into a room. Hey guys, I've actually never left the country. However, I was born in Peru.
so what year was it that you finally so okay, well let's
Left
talk
the
about what did
country.
you do?
Okay.
And because it was in college,
Yeah,
but I can't remember if we went the same year.
I think we did. So
Okay.
this was 2005.
Sophomore
So it was
year?
after our sophomore year, right?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Was it the
Age. Okay.
summer?
Yeah, it was a summer. It
Yeah,
was a
so
summer
it's
program.
okay. Yeah.
So, and it was similar to you in that that was the first time leaving the country, and like I went big. Like I didn't.
You went gigantic, sis.
I
Like, I
did.
thought a month in one country. You did what now?
Let's do as many as possible at one time, even though it's the first time leaving the country, and I don't speak any of these languages. Let's try it. That's my usual. That's my personality. So I think I don't know if it was the the TV show, like growing up watching MTV and the Real World Road
Mm-hmm.
Rules generation, and or some marketing from I think the University of Pittsburgh was a sponsoring organization. But basically,
Okay.
I ended up doing semester at sea, and I was super, super fortunate. Will forever be grateful to the Marshall Bass Foundation. They gave me the scholarship to go to Winston-Salem State. I was reading the fine print and I was like, okay, so this is like basically a full ride to undergrad. Great. It was geared towards, life science majors and pre-med type people. Cool. It also said it would pay for study abroad. And so I was like, okay, but there's no details. So like, how much can I squeeze out of this? Like, what can I get? Because you don't give me any limits. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to maximize this funded study abroad opportunity. So I think it was like all those factors that went into let's see if I can go on semester at sea at 19 years old with a whole bunch of strangers. I didn't know anybody else who was going or who had done
There was
it
no one else from
personally.
Winston-Salem State?
No,
You're
no.
nuts.
I don't know. Somebody else from Winston-Salem State might have done it before me, like a
Uh-huh.
year or two prior, but nobody that summer. It was me. Um, and so that summer voyage, I want to say it was 10 weeks, and again, 21 years ago, so I remember as much as I can.
Right.
We left out of Canada.
10 weeks is wild. I'm
Well, we
sorry.
had to go to 8 countries. We had to,
I mean, I hear you and I understand. I
it's all the
understand.
summer. It's just a
I
summer.
was like, we could do 4. You're like, let's double that and then add some.
That's the
Like,
program. So it was all or
wild.
nothing. I can't just do part of
Wild.
it,
I mean, I get
I'm
it.
all
I
in.
get it. I know. It's just,
And
whew.
again, you know me. this tracks,
It's
right?
very, very go big
I'm
or
going to
go
do
home.
the
Yeah, yeah,
most,
yeah,
and with subpar preparation. I'm just gonna do it. We're gonna sign up and ask questions later.
yeah.
So I went, I don't remember how many students, but I know there were like a handful of black ones. Um, well, I wouldn't say keep in touch, Facebook associations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like we did kind of band together, and it was funny because like the ones I remember talking to, a lot of us were on some sort of financial aid,
Mm-hmm.
almost like a work study for a lot of us. And then there were like all the
Mm-hmm.
rich kids who got to go, and they probably knew about this, and parents had probably done it before. And I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
happy to be here, guys. The scholarship paid for the tuition, um, got me on the boat, and it's kind of like a cruise, like, so it's pretty much all inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're going to all these lovely countries, um, that's when like the income disparity really stands out. So I think I had $300 on like a prepaid visa for all 10 weeks. And it's
Oh
just
my
like,
God. Oh my God.
again,
Wait,
this all tracks.
can we just
This all
talk about
tracks.
how $300? That's
In
how
my
much I
mind,
had in Mexico for 30, and I
yeah.
came home with money. And you got $300 for 10 weeks. I mean, in
No,
today's America, that's not getting you through a single week. But go
it
ahead.
didn't get me far in Europe either. I'll tell you that. You talk about balling on a budget, like I learned all kinds of skills. But also like
Mhm.
it's purely my fault. I could have saved money because I definitely had a job. Um, I could have asked for money, but I knew I wasn't good with money, and to then like having to ask my parents for more money means I have to admit that I've mismanaged what I did have,
Oh my
and I got
God.
too much pride for that. So struggle. We will maximize
There will be a future episode where we talk about how we don't let our ego get in the way of safety, but go ahead.
when when still working on it. Yeah, no. And so I'm like reading through the brochures of like all the things you can do at each country, and I'm like, that's a little bit too much for me, guys. I can't go on that one. So a lot of our
Wow.
excursions. So let me backtrack. So we left out of Canada. So I
Okay.
flew to Nova Scotia, I want to say it was. Spent
Mm-hmm.
one night in a hotel in Nova Scotia. Got to meet some people that night, and then the next day on a ship we're out. We went to Iceland, Norway, Russia, Poland, Belgium. We were supposed to go to London, but they had a train bombing right around that time that summer. And so
Mm-hmm.
they rerouted us to France, um, Ireland, and Spain, and then back. I think it took about a week or so to go back across the Atlantic, and we
Mm-hmm.
got to Fort Lauderdale. And then
Okay.
that was like the end of summer.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
So
amazing.
amazing, for sure, for sure. I mean, honestly, two black kids doing these kinds of things, like it is amazing.
Incredible.
It
Once in a
is amazing.
lifetime. Yeah.
Also wild. And
Uh-huh.
I think it's crazy that I never talked to you about I mean, we've talked about your trip to some degree,
We
but
never
like,
really talked about it.
but not like, I mean, I knew you did it, but I never
Yeah.
asked you details. So
Yeah.
like, especially hearing about recognizing like the disparity between you and people on the ship, and like also having the ego to not ask for help, because like I'm sure your parents would have sent you more than enough anywhere you
Of
were.
course. Yes. Yes.
So anyway, okay, so like, what was it like to, like, how did you feel meeting new people that you were gonna be with for 10 weeks? What was your roommate like? Well, did you have a roommate?
I had a roommate. Like
Okay.
it wasn't. It was like a college dorm on water
Uh-huh.
basically, and so I think
Uh-huh.
we were all two to a room, at least as far as I know. My roommate was super nice. I still remember
Mm-hmm.
her name. We had like a decent sized little stateroom, and we got along really well.
Oh,
We all
good.
brought like little things
Good.
to decorate since it was like a summer program, and so you
Yeah.
decorate your dorm room and you
Mm-hmm.
settle in. Um, and they had, faculty just like you would for any college type program. And they had a structure. They would pull us in, they'd do orientation, and we had required courses we had to sign up for, and then we had
Mm-hmm.
some cultural immersion type things or some debriefs before you get into each port.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the meeting new people part, I think it didn't scare me that much.
Okay.
And that's partly because, growing up in the military, having to move, switch to new schools,
That's
you
true.
figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But also, when I was in high school, I did like a 6-week summer program at one of the colleges in North Carolina, and it was governor school. Like you just, again,
Mm-hmm.
you move into campus, you meet new people, you're there for several weeks, you live there. And so I had
Mm-hmm.
that practice. The summer before semester at sea, I did a pre-med 4 to 6 week long program, I think, at Chapel Hill.
Okay.
Same thing. You're signing up, you're all there for similar purposes,
So it's
and you
kind of
get to
more,
know one another.
it's kind of the same thing you've been doing, just this time
Yeah.
on a boat.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't remember any apprehension about meeting new people, and
Uh,
also you're meeting them and you can't escape them because you're all stuck together
true.
for 10 weeks in foreign
True.
countries.
True.
I was just like, I think I was so excited to just go
Uh-huh.
and see as much as I could and was kind of figuring out one day at a time.
And you're taking classes on the ship,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you reach destinations and you explore.
Yeah, there weren't any classes, like we didn't have classes on days that we were in port. And we were in
Okay.
port for probably 3 to 5 days at a time, depending on the country.
Okay. Okay.
And so it was kind of like, I don't want to say it was like a playground, but
It was
it
like a
was
little
study abroad.
vacation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like study abroad. I mean, there's probably really rigorous programs. This was more
Mm-hmm.
of a like, go and see the world, but we'll give you
Mm-hmm.
some structure so you get some course credit and get it paid for. So, I mean, I do have some
Okay.
credits from that time. I think I
Huh.
took a music course. I don't remember the other course
I
I
was
took.
thinking these were like med school focused courses. So these are
Oh
just
no, this is
like,
everybody. This was everybody.
oh, okay.
Yeah, no, this
Okay.
was people who just wanted to go and people
Okay.
who could afford to go.
Gotcha. So you took a music class?
I think I did, yeah.
What'd
I
you
have my
learn?
notebook somewhere. Nothing. I don't know.
But don't you have perfect pitch?
I do not have perfect pitch. I don't know why you say that. I,
Oh, I've
I
said
no,
this
I
for a very long time in
I'm
life.
gonna take the compliment. I just don't know where it's coming from.
I'm sorry.
No, thank you. No, flattered. But I was
You
thinking about
live
that
in my
actually
head
this
the way that
morning.
I want you to be, and in my head,
Thank
you
you.
have perfect pitch.
That makes me very happy. Okay.
You
I
sing
will
like
strive
it,
to
so
live
there
up
you
to
go.
that. Thank you so much. I'll strive to live up to that expectation. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So in
No,
this
they talked
music
about
class, like, was it
instruments. They
singing? Was
talked
it?
about,
Oh, I'm
no,
sorry. Go
it was
ahead.
like kind of music history,
Okay.
music history for all the places we were visiting.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Talked about different instruments and musical
Hmm.
styles for some of the places we're visiting. I mean, it's hard to cover all of those different locations. Like that's the whole
Yeah.
country you're trying to tell me about in 10 weeks,
Right. Right.
but
Right.
or 8 countries in 10 weeks. But it was just something to do, and I feel like that was the one class that I would enjoy out of some of the
Hmm.
offerings they had. Like I'm not a history
Hmm.
person, you know that. They didn't have like pre-med science classes for me to like try to get extra credit in there.
Right.
So I
Right.
was like, all right, I'm going to take a break from, the pre-med life and just play.
Nice. Do you remember any other classes you took?
Nope.
That's
I
okay.
should. I should. I'm gonna, I'll get back to you on that. I'm gonna look in my
That's
notebook
okay. No,
and
no, no.
tell
I
you really
mean,
quick.
obviously, we've got to go find our notebooks, and then we'll have like a whole notebook sesh, like just flipping through pages. Mine's
Yeah,
all in Spanish. I don't even, like I said, I don't know that I'll
that's
remember, but
fine.
yeah,
I think I drew. I probably sketched some stuff, and
yeah.
I imagine there was like a history class in there somewhere, and I blacked
Yeah.
it out probably.
Sure, I don't need that.
Don't, not interested.
What would you say was like the most memorable experience or part
Ooh,
of the trip? Like the thing that's like, this is the story I tell about my semester at sea.
there's
Or
so
what,
many. Gosh, okay. Let me
or
give you a few. So
tell a couple.
all of them. You'll get all of what I remember from 21 years ago. So in Iceland, that was the first place we visited. We went to the Blue Lagoon, which is like, you see it on all the travel
Hmm.
posts. Really, really cool. Didn't even know that was a thing until like 2 days before we're going to Iceland. Like, what to do in Iceland? Huh, that sounds fun. um, I mean, most of the time in port, again, because I had limited resources, I was like, let's just get there, walk around, see what we can get into.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a group of people who were cool enough and kind of in the same financial situation I was in, so
Mm-hmm.
that was the crew. Um, I remember we went to a nightclub in Iceland, because again, like we are 18, 19, 20, not
Mm-hmm.
of legal drinking age in the US, but for most of European
Yeah.
countries, we can party. So we went to a nightclub. I remember I met another black person. It was a black guy in Iceland. It was like seeing black people abroad. Whoa, what are you doing here? How'd you get here? Did they know you're out here? I think he was.
Do they know you?
Do
They
they
let
know?
you in?
Um, I think he was in the military, and I was like, oh, there's military out here. Good to know. So that was
Mm-hmm.
like, it was like, I remember encounters with other black people abroad, like black
Yeah.
Americans abroad
Yeah.
specifically. Um, I also remember like coming out of the club at 3 or 4 a.m. and it was still like bright sunlight outside, which is just
Oh,
wow.
that's trippy.
It was cool. Norway, what I remember about Norway is again, unstructured, go out and see what we can get into. So we hiked a mountain, just because they told us it was there. And I was in
Oh.
like a skirt and flip flops. These flip flops they were amazing. The flip flops I've seen in the world. Um, but we hiked right around Bergen and had beautiful views of like the water and the city. And so I just remember being on top of the mountain and being like, this is really cool. I can't believe I'm doing this. And then
Mm.
back down in the main part of the city, we went to this food market and I tried whale and there was something else. Was it reindeer? Just things I'd never tried before that were out. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go all in to this experience. If it's here and they're offering it and this is what the Norwegians eat, I'm gonna try it too. That was kind of my approach. Um,
Uh-huh.
Russia, what I remember about Russia is the beautiful architecture with so
Mm.
much history, but I
Mm.
remember feeling very out of place um, as a person of color and
Yeah.
walking in a group of six, six-ish people of color.
Mm.
Um, to the point where I think I might have told you this. Like we went to a restaurant one day for lunch, and
Mm.
I remember like some authorities came up and they were looking
Mm.
at us, the females in the group, like, what are you guys doing here? Who are you with? And kind of asking basically about us.
Mm.
And I think I don't know what the underlying concern was, but I think somebody mentioned like concerns for prostitution or something like that. But just like
I do not remember you telling me that at all.
okay, it was just like a very clear feeling of we don't belong here.
Huh.
That was what I left Russia feeling like, and we were in St. Petersburg. But I also remember, I think, did I go to a ballet? Or maybe everybody else on the ship went to the ballet, and I felt like I went through their experience. But that was
Mm.
one of the popular excursions. Next was Poland, and in Poland, there was one black guy who was on semester at sea with us, and he would walk around most of the time in the countries with us. And
Mm.
I think he was out, maybe trying to pick up a souvenir or get something to eat, and he came back to the group and said he was kind of like accosted, is that the right word? By like a group of people he described as skinheads, basically. I was
Hmm.
like, oh, that's
When
very,
when y'all were on the boat, like before getting to Russia or Poland, like in the debriefing of like what to
no,
expect culturally, like did they consider
no,
multi?
no,
Mm.
no, because we're the minority, like the
Right.
small
Right.
minority. And so
But
the
I feel like that
debriefs would
would
include
mean that
like,
you should definitely be made to prepare for that
if they're
experience.
considering it and maybe they never got that feedback from people or maybe they just
Hmm.
did not consider it would be an issue
Right.
um, or we weren't visible enough in that way for somebody to say like
Interesting.
hey, and also like who's gonna be the one to tell us because
Right.
there weren't any people of color among the faculty.
I guess my thought is like responsibility matters. Like they don't have to be black. They just have to be aware that they're taking care of black
Like an
children.
ally.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh no, there's people of color on the boat. Be they Hispanic, Asian, whatever. And just be like, just keep in mind, like, the way that they
Yeah,
see you here is da 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 da. Like, you don't gotta be black to tell me that.
yeah, right. right. Just for my safety, I'd appreciate it. And I don't even
Yeah.
remember if we went back and told anybody about it.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, I remember like for that reason, that part of the trip just always kind of leaves a sour taste in my mouth. Like I
mm.
love parts of Russia, I love parts of Poland, but I'm like, would I go back there? No.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
After Poland was Belgium. Belgium was
Mm-hmm.
beautiful because I got to go
Chocolate.
to, yes, French fries and
Sorry.
waffles, hot waffles on the street for
Mm.
like €2. Again, I'm like, we're over halfway done. I'm well out of money at this point. Like, I'm trying to get as much as I can get. The food was amazing. Like, street food was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Brussels,
Mm.
Bruges, and Antwerp. Antwerp is where our ship was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and again, I saw like beautiful dark-skinned black men in Belgium, and I was like, wait a second, you're not American, you speak French. That's fun. It was like
Hey.
unexpected. Right. I'm like, oh, cool. We're everywhere. And we went to a
Walking down the street,
club and like was
voulez-vous
out
coucher.
hearing hip
Now we
hop.
gotta fight to the
Stop it.
police. No, I'm just kidding.
That's why they don't let us out. That's exactly why.
And that is why.
Yeah, so that's what I remember. Like food, beautiful sights, lots of countries, and like a fun clubbing experience in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was France, so unexpected. We weren't really prepared for France. We docked in the north part of France in this town called, I'm not going to pronounce it because I don't want to be embarrassed with my lack of French speaking. Small port town in north of France.
Insert name
And
here.
then insert name, yeah, captions. That's what captions are for. Um, we took a train, I think, to Paris. So first time in Paris. Again, my group, we're solid crew. Got to see the Eiffel Tower for the first time. It was amazing. We have this great picture of all of us like linked in arms, like from
Yeah.
like our backs looking up at the thing. Anyway, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
fun times, beautiful gardens, went to the palaces. First time I had wine. First time on public transportation, all in Paris. So Paris was lovely. Ireland, went to Dublin. Dublin was green and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did go see, what is it? The dance, the
Oh, Riverdance.
yes, yes, I did go to a Riverdance show and I had
That's
Irish
kind of
coffee.
cool.
It was very cool. I think that
You
was
said
like
you
one of
saw
the only
Riverdance and
formal
what?
had Irish coffee.
Irish coffee. I thought you said coffee, but then I was like,
Hmm.
nope, I'm tripping. Go ahead. Yeah.
Irish, yeah, I felt like I was grown a little. And then the last stop was Spain. We docked in Bilbao, um, and then took a bus, local cheap bus to San Sebastian. I remember that was
Mm.
one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen, still to this day.
Oh, wow.
Um, I'm looking forward to going back there later this year because I was just like, I had to see it again. It's been too long. Um, and then we flew on like a
Oh,
local low-cost European airline to Barcelona.
oh, nice.
Yeah. And we got to see like the big, was it the cathedral that they're always
Mm.
doing construction on there.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we just kind of like walked through the city, ate, drank, shop, and that was it.
What a time.
Oh, we did stay in a hostel.
Oh, my God, of
Again,
course.
cheap. Stayed in a hostel in somewhere in Spain, and it was like a co-ed hostel, and I remember like no privacy. Um, there was like an instance, an encounter where like fully exposed to some random person, another tourist. I'm like, and that's why I don't stay in hostels. We'll never do that again.
I can't even
Don't need to
imagine.
do that. Yeah, no, it was, yeah. So, person only time in a
Yeah, no, I've
hostel.
never stayed in anybody's hostel.
Would not recommend.
So yeah. I'm too old. I'm far too old.
At this big age, absolutely
Far
not.
too
Like, it's
old.
hard to share a
No,
room at
no,
this
no.
point, but
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
But yeah, there's
I
so
feel
much
like you
more, like
remembered it good
pictures
about.
and journals, and yeah, a lot of it, thanks to pictures I took.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of it just, it really stuck with me. It was like, it was a major, major, major experience.
Mm-hmm.
That was life changing. From that, I was like, the world is so big. And
Yeah.
I think there might have also been just like a little bit of jealousy of all the rich kids who, when we went to France, went to the south of France and like Nice, and we went to Spain, they went to Ibiza, and like I'm just hearing of all
Mm,
these other experiences that people had when I was there, and I was like, well, this is what I'm able to do,
yeah.
and I think that stayed with me And I've always talked about like wanting to go back to certain countries so I can redo the experience now with like more years, more resources, more time,
Mm-hmm.
and travel with people I love. Because I had a
Yeah.
boyfriend at the time, and I remember calling him, being like, "This is great. I'm really glad I'm seeing all this stuff. I wish I could share it with somebody who I cared about."
Yeah. Oh, you are absolutely doing it. Because every time I talk to you, like, yeah, we got a trip next week. And I'm like, okay, Courtney.
With
That's
what
dramatic. But
money?
I do feel like you do yourself justice for like seeing the places that you want to see, which I think is really beautiful that you and your family can do that. So,
Yeah, and then my
yeah.
family comes along, that they're willing to come along.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whether they're happy about it or they jump into it. They're not always like, okay, but they'll go.
You're on a boat, learning about music, traveling all over the world, making $300 stretch.
Yeah, like 10 years later, I told my mom that story. She was like, why didn't you just tell us you
I
didn't have
know
any
she was
money?
mad at you. You probably saying it calmer than she did. Because you were like, what? Why would you?
She's like, you never told me you were struggling. I was like, oh. I'll figure it out. It's an oldest daughter in me.
But I feel like, I, I feel like, well, she raised you to be the kind of person to figure it out. Like, from
Yeah,
what so, like, I'm surprised she's surprised. But,
right. I think that was kind of my response. Like, are you really? You're not really shocked. You've known me for a
yeah.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've known me for a while.
But yeah, I think we talked about like, how your parents, when you left, were just like, okay. I think my parents did have some apprehension, but by that point, again,
Mm,
I had been away for two
yeah.
summers. They were just
Yeah.
like, we're not going to be able to tie you down.
Mm.
So fine, go. But also, like, I think both my parents would have had no problem going to get me and grab me
Right.
if I ever said I needed help. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you tell them about like the experience? I think you said it was in Russia with the police.
I don't think I told them until I got back.
Okay.
And even then, I mean, after that, we went to so many other places that it was probably kind
Right.
of lost in the mix.
Like the
Yeah.
sensation kind of faded. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah. I think I obviously was the kind of person like this thing bothers me right now. I got to tell my mama right now. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't like move past the moment. But like thinking about our experiences like in contrast, like I went down with a group of people, but I was not with them all
Yeah.
day. I was with a family a majority of the
Right.
day, and then I would go into class and see the people who came from Winston-Salem with me, but then I would go back home and spend
Yeah.
where you were with other people who were in your same scenario a majority of your day, or like I guess
Yeah.
all day, because
Yeah.
aside from like I guess if you wanted to go off somewhere, like you were just with the other people from the ship. So, about how
Hmm.
many people was it total? Like, was it thousands, hundreds?
No, no,
I
no,
don't
no,
know
no.
how
I
big
want
the
to say
boat
it was probably
was.
like 200 or so. I don't think it
Okay,
was that many people.
and it was just
Um,
y'all on the ship, not like other people. Like,
mm-mm.
okay,
Yeah, it was
okay,
just like
mm-hmm.
the MV Explorer was our vessel. And it was like for a semester at sea specifically. But I think one of the other
Nice.
big differences, and maybe one of the reasons why I didn't share as much with people back home, is because our environment was constantly changing. Like we're on a ship, but
Mm-hmm.
like we're always going from place to place.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think at that time we had reliable communication. Like I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what the email situation was. I think when we were in different countries, we could go to an internet cafe. And
Yeah,
I remember I used a payphone a couple times to call. But yeah, it wasn't like if I had a moment, I could just pick up a phone and call home and say, hey, this happened and I'm trying to deal with it.
I was 100% call and collect to my parents, like because
I had a little phone
at
card,
that
and again,
time,
limited
like
minutes. This is
at
like,
that
this is what
time,
I got.
phones did not have internet on them.
Right, right, right.
Just to tell you how old we are. Uh,
College 20 years ago, and probably give you a ballpark, but
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like a
but
little
like,
calling card with the
hmm
minutes. I could reload it when I need to, and you take that into
hmm
the phone booth and you dialing up like, this is what I got.
yeah,
Okay, I can't talk. Log bye.
yeah. You had to keep it cute. So,
And I think there's a picture of me when we got close to Florida towards the end of our trip, where like we finally had cell service, and everybody's like, "Yay, we're almost back!" And like I'm in the background on my little flip phone, my little flip LG phone, trying to call my boyfriend, like, "Hey, we made it in. I'm fine. Everything's fine." I don't know why I was
yeah,
trying to reassure him so much, but anyway, like there was no cell service until we got back to the U.S. Yeah,
yeah. Well, yeah. If you were gonna do anything
the
differently, what would
money
it be?
thing for sure, and
Yes, please.
I think I would have spent more time getting to know more about the places I visited,
Mm,
um, like before and during,
mm,
just to appreciate the experience more.
mm,
Like since then, well, not even since then, it's been more recently, I have started to plan more like history tours and like even food tours sometimes will incorporate history.
mm-hmm.
And I've been really fortunate that we get good guides that give you like
Yeah.
a good lesson and really kind of tell you more about what you're visiting. And so you're not just like seeing things, taking pictures, you're learning about it
Mm-hmm.
to appreciate it more. And honestly, I think remember more about what you see. Um,
You said you're going back to Spain at the end of the year because you want to go back
mhm,
to that beach. What
mhm.
was the first place you returned to? Like, what was the first country that you went back to, like, as an adult who you're like, I'm just going to this place because that's where I want to go? Like, have you
Like
revisited any of the
from there
countries?
or
Yeah,
like,
from the countries
yeah,
yeah.
from those, let's see.
I might have should have prepared you for that question,
No,
but
no, no. I'm going through
okay.
the list to make sure, but I'm pretty sure the answer is France is
Okay.
the only place I've been back to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was exactly what I wanted. Like I went to Paris. Um, we were going there to go to Bordeaux for a friend's 40th, but on our last night of the trip, we went back to Paris so we could fly out the next day. Stayed the night, me and my husband, and I was so excited. I was like, "Let's go see the Eiffel Tower. You've never seen it. Let's go walk up to it. Look, it's gonna be amazing because this is my experience from back then." And he was like, "Oh, cool." And I was like, "Hey, it's gonna light up at night. Let's go out and see it at night." And he's like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Look, it's lit up." He's
It's
like,
so sparkly. It's like glitter.
"Yeah,
I've only seen it,
underwhelmed,
on TV, but
underwhelmed." He was just like, "Paris is all right." I was like, I couldn't wait to come back with a loved one, and this is what I going
you're
by
supposed to
myself.
like hold you and dip you and let your foot pop. Like it's supposed to be a whole thing. No.
That
Okay.
did not that did not happen. But it was so cool to go back as an adult, and
Of
I still
course.
felt that sense of wonder with
Mm-hmm.
the city, and the
Mm-hmm.
Arc de Triomphe was another one. I was like, oh, I remember like running in the middle of the streets to take this picture when I was 19. Um, so that was still really special. Spain, I'll be there with husband, baby, parents. Um, and I'm a little concerned because I've been hyping up this beach in my memory. Um, so we'll see if
It's
it's as
20
nice.
years, things change. The globe has
The
changed.
climate, the
It is
entire world
warmer.
has changed.
It
Um,
is warmer.
I don't know, but I'm also not responsible for the beach.
You're not.
Um, we will see what's there. We will be open to new experiences.
Yes.
I'm not making any promises. I'm
Yeah.
just getting people there, and we'll see what happens.
Well, and I think the other thing is that like it's not that you're only going to go to the beach. Like there's other things to do. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. We
listen.
did decide like I'm not going back to Barcelona.
Mm,
Um, but we are going back to Bilbao and San Sebastian, and then we're going to go to Madrid and Seville. So it's
mm,
like I kind of want to go to some other places, but I want to see some new things too, since I haven't
yeah.
been there in forever, and there's so much to offer. So we'll start there.
Fun, fun.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So what have we
Yes.
learned today?
We've learned that when you're 1920 traveling the world, you're going to see it a particular way. And then when you
Hmm.
get 20 years into the future, you're going to see the world another way. And all of it's
Hmm.
good because, like, your perspective and your purview is based off of, like, where you are and what you can see. When you live a little, you can see a little more. So, yeah.
Ooh, live a little more, see a little more.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well said, friend.
And so when the going gets solo, the solo get outgoing.
That's right. Until next time.